Hello everybody, so if you're building a collection and you want to do it for the least amount of money possible, there are a few strategies you can use to accomplish this. Now first of all, you need to specialize in something. That's what I tell everybody is you just can't collect everything. Now, you can collect a lot, but I definitely recommend focusing on one part of your collection at a time. Let's say you're an X-Men guy, Spider-Man guy, and a Superman guy. Well, find the books and what part of those series and which of those series you like, and just focus on that for a little while. Build up that part of your collection and your searches, because if you're searching for books, you've got a limited amount of time if you're anything like me. And it's really hard to search for 1,000 books. You know, you'd spend all day on eBay, you get frustrated, you burn out, wherever you're looking for these books. Obviously in the wild or whatever is an option as well. But yeah, and definitely specialize. I usually keep a list of something like 50 books at the most that I'm looking for at any given time. Now, I'm doing it a lot for profit now, and I'll have a list of for-profit books of maybe around 30 books. And I find this manageable. I can look for all those 30 books once a week, usually on a Friday or something like that. Catch the beginning auctions that start on Thursday if people are doing 10-day auctions that end on Sundays, that type of thing. But yeah, definitely try to keep what you're looking for right now, you know, in control by having the smallest list possible that you're looking for right now. Now, if you happen to be out in the wild or wherever and you are at a flea market, a local comic shop, wherever, and you come across books that are in other parts of your collections that you aren't really focusing on right now, by all means, pick those books up. Don't just let them sit there and say, oh, I'm not looking for that book right now, because you might not come across that book again for a while. Now, if you are trying to do this as cheap as possible, I recommend focusing on raw books that have grade bump potential that could potentially be pressed now or maybe pressed clean down the road. You're just going to get the most value that way. I found, I add huge value to my collection. If you've been following my channel, you know this. You can buy a book for $4, $5, $10, $20, and it can become a $2, $3, $4,000 book sometimes, just crazy amounts of money if you buy the right books. So unless you're in a hurry and you're only focusing on slabs, which if you are, great. And even if you are focusing on slabs, you can look for, let's say you're looking for a 9.4 in your collection. Well, try to find an 8.0, 8.5, 9.0 that has grade bump potential, and buy those books, crack them out, send them in, and try to get your grade bump that way, and you can add a lot of value in that regard as well. Number 3 is just make sure you're exploring all buying options that you have. I generally find probably 80-90% of my books on eBay, because it just has, I can just sit in one chair whenever I want, and it's just very convenient. But I'm going to pay all the high fees and all that stuff, because sellers are going to sell books at a premium on eBay because they have to pay all those fees and everything. So if you want to avoid the shipping, all that stuff, definitely going out to a local comic shop, going through long boxes is a much cheaper way than trying to buy on eBay. It just all depends on what your goals are for collecting and how much time you actually have to spend doing it. But for the fun factor, I recommend at least going to some flea markets, garage sales, all that stuff. Now, you may not have a very big haul most of the time, but sometimes you could find somebody that doesn't know what they have, and you can, I'm not saying screw people over, but you can find some insane values out there, going through garage sales, estate sales, that type of thing, and finding books that way. Now, one thing that a lot of people overlook is building relationships with different comic shops, buyers, sellers, that type of thing. I've got people that buy from me multiple times. In fact, if I ever get books in that I'm trying to sell, I'll shoot them a message and say, I've got these books, I'll send them the pictures, and we can avoid all the middleman fees, all that stuff, all the markups, everything that would go along with that. So, I don't know, I probably sell 10%, 20% of my books now directly to people that I've sold to in the past. So you could be that person that has somebody that's looking for books, cleaning, pressing, whatever, reselling, and wouldn't it be great to have like 10 sellers every time they have a book for sale, they're coming to you, and they're going to be able to give you a good deal because they're cutting out the fees, all that stuff. And you're going to be getting not quite as good of a deal, but you're also going to be cutting out a lot of the time and hassle you would have to spend finding these books in the wild on your own and submitting them if you're going to get them slabbed or whatever. as well. So it can be a win-win situation. I've had a couple grails that I've sold for thousands of dollars, but I sold it for thousands of dollars under fair market value, and the buyer was exceptionally happy. I still made just as much money as I would have made selling it through eBay or somewhere. And I sold it instantly. I didn't have to sit around and have my book on the market for 2, 3, 4 months. And grails, the big ones, can just sit there forever if you don't have a list of buyers in mind already before you even work on the book. So join comic shop, the online comic shops, live comic shop, join their newsletters. Get on a first name basis with these people. People on Instagram, they're sellers. Find these people, seek them out, and network. I mean, it definitely will pay off in your collection over the long run if you just take the time to do this. I've had a lot of success buying bulk lots online. Now, there might be 100 books in a lot, or 50 or 20 or whatever, and there might be only 2 or 3 books in that lot that I'm really looking for my collection. But the good thing is I can get that bulk lot in, and maybe there'll be a few keys in there that I could resell as well. Sometimes I've bought a lot of 20 books, picked 3 out, kept them for myself, and resold the other 17 with maybe 3 other filler copies that I had, and sold it for basically the same or more that I sold it originally. So I basically got the 2 or 3 books for free. You can find some diamonds in the rough out there. I've found some huge grails doing this. So definitely, if you're scrolling through eBay or wherever looking for books and you see a bulk lot, take the time, look through those books, and you might be amazed at the kind of value you can get. Now, I didn't really talk about it, but you need, as part of specializing in books, you need to figure out, do you just want reader copies? Is that what it's all about? Raw readers don't really care about the condition. That's going to put you in a different category of what you're looking for. It's going to widen your horizons of what you could find. It's going to make it a lot easier and cheaper to do. Or are you looking for high grade? Or are you looking for mid grade? Do you want just reader copies for the bulk of a run, or just maybe slab a few ultra high grade ones just to display on the wall? Or even the ones you display, do you not care either way? This is all going to affect how you collect and how you look for books. So what I'm getting to here is, if you are looking to maybe have the highest grade books possible in your collection, but you don't have the budget for a lot of those grails right now, just buy the lowest grade possible. Buy a coverless copy right now. Get it for the cheapest possible and just keep looking over time. So you might start out with a 0.5 copy of Hulk 180, but at least you got it for a reasonable price. Maybe you got it for $300 or $400, which sounds expensive, but when you look at what a 9.8 costs, you're in the door. And you can pick up a 1.5 later, or a 2.0 that presents really well. And you sell your 0.5, get some of your money back to go towards that new book. And then maybe that 1.5, 2.0, whatever is crackable. You clean and press it, you send it off for clean and pressing, you get it graded again, and suddenly it's a 3.0. Then you can sell that 3.0, and you buy a 4.0. And over several years, you can just keep moving up the chain until, heck, you've got whatever your goal grade is for that book. Maybe it's an awesome presenting 8.0 of all of your grails. Nothing wrong with that, right? So specialize, focus on raw books if you're really on a budget, network with dealers. Don't try to look for too much at one time. Be willing to learn to clean and press. I mean, it's a huge thing. I mean, I just did a video recently where for $300 or less, you can get started in the hobby and do all of this yourself and save you all of those cleaning and pressing fees as well. And I mean, the sky's kind of the limit. All of my collection that I've built, which isn't a giant collection, but my slab collection, I probably have 150 books. I think last I checked, the total value is somewhere around $50,000, but I probably spent $15,000 to build this collection. I mean, that sounds like $15,000, but that's over 3 years' time with spare money I made from buying and selling other books, and I've got a $50,000 collection with $15,000. I mean, tell me an investment that you can do that well. And besides, if you really wanted to dedicate yourself to this hobby and you had $100,000 to spend over 3 or 4 years, you could build $400,000 or $500,000 collection easy. I mean, people that have been following my channel can see this, but it wouldn't be ridiculous for somebody over a 10 or 15 year period to become a comic millionaire. I mean, the sky is the limit. I keep saying that. But yeah, so check out my website, improvecollecting.com. I'm always putting on there what I use to clean and press, the tools I use, my cleaning and pressing community. You can find out information about that. As of the recording of this video, we're in the alpha phase, but we're going to be moving on. If you're watching this video, down the road, this is late 2024. Check it out. Maybe you want to join. Maybe you want a little bit of a head start on the hobby, on doing all of the things I talked about in this video, as well as all of the cleaning and pressing tips. We can give you everything you need to get started in building this collection, building value for yourself, buying and selling, cleaning and pressing, everything for the minimum amount of money invested possible. So keep hunting, stay nerdy, and I'll see you in the next video.